Hey, what's up guys? Adam with A&J Automotive Repair and Fleet Services in Sacramento. We're gonna go ahead and do a rear drum service on this Honda Fit 2007. It's got low shoes and she's complaining about a squeak, so we're gonna go ahead and machine the drums, replace the shoes, and lubricate everything and clean everything. I'm gonna get the car up in the air and then we'll go from there. Alright you guys, we got the wheels off. We're going to go ahead and get into this brake job real quick. But before that, I want to go ahead and go over some of our specials here at A&J. We have a pad slap service that we do, which requires replacing the pads or shoes, whether it's a rotor or a disc system versus a drum system. It's the same price, $89.99. If you want to have the drum or the rotors machined, it's going to be $189.99, and if you want to have the drums or rotors replaced, it's $259.99. And then if you have any of the three services, they all include free lubrication, and then the two latter services include new hardware on both front or rear axles, whichever you replace. If you want to take advantage of the service, we're located at 2539 Mercantile Drive, Suite 2A, Rancho Cordova, 95742. Phone number 916-388-1552. So let's get to this. Alright you guys, we're going to go over this brake repair real quick. First thing I like to do, obviously you got to pull the drum off. Okay, there's two holes here that are threaded. Okay, if you can't get the drum off, you can thread a bolt into these holes. It'll push up against the spindle and the drum will come off. If it doesn't seem like the drum is moving, make sure that you have the emergency brake disengaged, because if you have the emergency brake on, the shoes are engaging the drum and you're not going to get the drum off. Alright, another thing you can do is with like a mallet, you can hit right here on these flat spots. You don't want to hit it hard, you don't want to bend the spindle, but if you tap it a couple times, actually there you go, tap this one time, it came loose. So once we do that, we'll go ahead and just remove the drum, and then I'll show you the next piece. Alright you guys, we got the drum off. Next thing we're going to do is start taking the shoes off. Alright, first thing I like to do is, if you look right here, there's a C-clip. I like to use a flat blade screwdriver just to push against it. I'll reach around the back of the backing plate, and then you'll feel the pin back there. You can go ahead and turn the pin 90 degrees and take the C-clip out. There's one there. There's one right here. Okay, once I get that off, I'll go ahead and remove this spring right here. Okay, for the springs, I like to use a little needle nose vice grip, something like this. Grab on it real tight, pull the spring off. Once I get that spring off, I like to grab the shoe down here because there's a spring in here. I'll grab the shoes, I'll spread them, and I'll go ahead and separate them from this collar right here and pull the shoe out towards me. And what that does is give me access to the spring. It loosens the spring up and I can take the spring out. Once that's off, I'll come across the top right here. Alright, I'll grab onto this spring, unlatch the spring there, and go ahead and pull the shoes out. Once I get the shoes out, I'll go ahead and clean everything up with brake clean, lube the backing plates, and reinstall. I'll show you the backing plates once I get everything apart, and then we'll go from there. Alright you guys, we got the shoes off. Here's the backing plate without the shoes. Alright, you're gonna notice there's a couple lands right here. There's a land there, one here, one down here. Alright, also on the other side, here, here, and here. And then you're gonna have an area where the shoe sits in, right here. Okay, those are all lubrication points. Also right here on the master cylinder are actually the wheel cylinder that presses up against the shoes. You're gonna lubricate here and here. All right, That's after you clean it all up. Also on the shoes, when you look at the shoes, you'll notice one shoe here has nothing on it. Alright, so you don't have to worry about that one. But this one here has a little C-clip up in here, and it's got a little lever for the emergency brake. That's how the emergency brake is actuated. There's a cable that pulls on this, and that's what actuates the emergency brake. You're gonna have to take the C-clip off here and then reinstall it on the other shoe. On this car, there's no leading and trailing shoe. The shoes are even from top to bottom if you look on the front or the back. But when you look at shoes on drums, always make sure, because sometimes there is a leading and trailing shoe and the shoes will be offset. So you want to make sure that you put them back in the right position. Alright you guys, we got the shoe assembly back together. We got the backing plate lubed up. Alright, there's all the lubrication points lubed. There's the shoe assembly reassembled. You notice I got it hanging off the emergency brake cable. Alright, so the cable is attached. All you got to do from there on is pick up the shoe assembly, and then you can just roll it back in to place just like that. And once you get it back in, put in the pins from the back, put the spring in on the bottom, reattach the spring from here to here, and then you're good to go. I'll show it back to you once it's reassembled, and then I'm going to show you how to adjust it once I get the drum back on. And then once that's done, then we can move on to the other side. Alright you guys, the shoes are back on. Let me show you everything that we've done. Okay. So, the C-clip's on. C-clip's on. The spring from the latch lever is back in. The spring from shoe to shoe is back in. The adjuster is back in, and then the lower spring is back in. When you adjust this, you can look inside this hole right here. There's a little star wheel that's in here with a little ratchet that sits up against it. On this one here, what I like to do is take up the adjustment and start opening it, and then I'll take the drum and test fit the drum. If I slip the drum on and it slips on easily and the drum feels loose, then it's not adjusted. I'll go 5 latches or 5 notches at a time until I feel the drum starting to get tight. Once the drum gets a little bit tight, then I'll go back on and I'll fit the drum on there. And what I like to feel is a little bit of drag. I like to feel those shoes dragging on the drum, but obviously I want the drum to turn. Alright, then I'll go a little bit tighter. And if it feels like I can't get the drum on all the way, that's usually about where I like to stop. And then I'll back it off about 2 notches and slip it back on and test again. Alright, so let me put this drum on real quick and I'm going to show you what I like to look for. Alright, now the drum's back on. So when I'm testing the drum, what I'm looking for is that it spins freely. Alright. With the drum all the way on, I can hear those shoes dragging just a little bit. Okay? That's what you're looking for. Another test would be to pull it back and forth. You shouldn't be able to rock this drum back and forth very much. You should have very minimal rock. If it's rocking back and forth a lot, that usually means that the shoe's not seated. So this one's not rocking very much and it's moving freely. That's what I like to look for as far as my adjustment. Now that that portion's done, go ahead to the other side and finish up the other side. Put the wheels back on, go for a test drive.